Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're going to talk about the Destroyer shell, Marathon's most aggressive frontline shell and the closest thing to an unstoppable war machine on Tau Ceti IV. Your role is simple: seek conflict, dominate it, and walk away with the loot. This guide will break down everything you need to know to run the Destroyer effectively, from your abilities to team positioning and extraction plays. The Destroyer shell is actually one of my favorite to play, not just because it's one of the coolest looking shells, shout out to that OG Marathon Mjolnir armor, but just because of how fun it can be and the type of plays that you can make. With all that being said, I just want to say thank you for all the support recently on all of the videos. You guys have been absolutely killing it. We're trying to hit 25,000 subs by the end of the year. We're so close to 20K. So if you want to stay up to date with Marathon, from news, builds, lore, the story, any of that, make sure you subscribe. If you found the video helpful, make sure you leave a like and hype the video, and let's get into it. The Destroyer is classified as a combat specialist with an offensive-defensive tech profile. Unlike the stealthy assassin or the intel-focused recon, the Destroyer doesn't really hide from a fight. It basically starts them. With advanced weapon systems, a personal defense barricade, and enhanced movement tools, Destroyer is built to close the gap, take hits, and dish out punishment until the enemy stops moving. I think traditionally people would think of the Destroyer as Marathon's tank class, but it's got speed. It's like a super fast, high-tech Abrams tank. It's almost like a Spartan from Halo. You're not just absorbing damage, you're creating pressure, you're controlling the battlefield, you're dealing damage with your rockets. And speaking of rockets, let's get into the abilities. Your prime ability is Search and Destroy. It activates shoulder-mounted missile pods, and when you deal sustained damage to a target, whether it's AI or, in PvP, the pods will automatically fire homing missiles that immobilize and deal damage on impact. I like to think of this as my finisher ability, but I will also use it before an engagement. If I have like a ton of loot, I want to ensure that I'm going to get out alive. But like we said before, you just lay sustained damage onto a target with your weapons to trigger the missiles, and it's basically like a reward for having decent aim. They seem pretty aggressive too, so like in PvP, if an enemy is trying to break the line of sight in mid-fight to go heal or something like that, the homing nature of these missiles means they can't just sprint around the corner and do that. In PvE, you can use it against tougher UESC units to burn them down a little bit faster before they become a problem. There are some strong PvE enemies out there, especially in some of those events. So this can be a godsend to really help you clear those enemies. Also, cores can reduce the cooldown of Search and Destroy when you get kills with, like explosive damage and things like that. So you can lean into this type of synergy as you build out your kit. Please do not forget that your build can have huge cooldown effects on all your abilities. Next up is your tactical ability, and that's the Barricade. Super simple. It deploys an energy barricade, it blocks incoming damage, it drains your tactical ability while it's active, and taking hits will drain it even faster. I think that people use this as almost a panic button, and it doesn't have to be, and it really shouldn't be. I feel like it's a mid-fight type of thing where you drop it when you're in an exchange, you need a half a second to reposition or, take attention away from a teammate who's trying to get a flank or something like that. Just buying you that little bit of extra time, especially in this game where heals are so important, there's so little ammo going around, and you're making the other team waste it. It's also excellent to use in the extraction zones. Once the actual timer starts, just drop the barricade facing whichever way you think people are going to likely come from and just hold the point. Like I said, don't just hold it out. It will have a passive drain. It will burn the energy, even if no one's shooting at you. And something to look out for, I think I saw on Twitter that there's a core that allows you to return damage back to the attackers from the barricade, so it becomes an offensive tool. That's insane. If I can find that tweet, I will put it up on the screen right now, but in case I didn't, don't quote me on it. But again, the build crafting around this stuff is really where you're gonna shine. So here's your movement abilities. You have a thruster and attack sprint. A thruster, you can activate it while airborne to fire boosters that thrust you in the direction you're moving. It's an engagement tool. You can rapidly close distance on an enemy or get out of a bad angle. It's also a dodge tool. But who doesn't love, like just flying super far, super fast? As for your tactical sprint, you double press the sprint button to move faster, but you're gonna, generate more heat. I actually tend to not use this as much just because of the heat buildup, but if you want to use it to reposition quickly, between cover or to initiate engagements, remember Destroyer's not really the type of shell that should be caught camping. You got to apply that pressure. But again, you got to be mindful of the heat buildup. Because what happens when you overheat, you just get locked out of all your movement tools, and then you're gonna cry. So for those asking how to actually run Destroyer, this is how my gameplay loop normally looks. When I'm engaging an enemy, I'll use tac sprint and thruster to close that distance. You want to be in the enemy's face before they're ready for you. This class really does win close to mid-range fights. I mean, if you got the shotgun and stuff on, you're thrusting around people and, breaking their aim assist, you can really apply damage to them, and then your teammates can just be cleaning up in the back. Once you're in that fight and you're applying that sustained damage, you're gonna have search and destroy going. Don't spray and play, just stay on target, trigger those missiles, and get those cleanups. If you're in a sticky situation and you gotta reposition or something, pop the barricade, and then just finish the job. The Destroyer shell really works well with squads. Just for example, Destroyer and Recon, you have Recon's Echo Pulse and Tracker Drone can give you intel on enemy positions, and then Destroyer just basically brings the fight directly to them instead of people hunting for it. One of my favorite combos is a Destroyer and Triage. If you're running these aggressive 3 stacks, a Triage is going to keep players alive, especially Destroyer, through those sustained fights, maximizing the damage output, uptime, getting that little drone to heal them. Keep an eye out for that Triage video. I'm going to be making that soon as well. As for tips and tricks, you have to remember that you're not invincible. It's durable, but you're not unkillable. Use your barricade before you're nearly dead, not when you have like 2% health and you're gonna get cleaned up anyways. Be smart about your heat management. This can go for every shell, but tac sprint will generate a ton of heat if you're sprinting into every fight and thrusting constantly. You're gonna overheat and you're gonna lose those movement tools mid-fight, and you're gonna be an easy target. As for search and destroy, I do think that it needs a little bit of setup. New players sometimes pop it immediately, so just wait, get some damage on them first. Once they've gotten worried about their health and stuff like that, go ahead and pop search and destroy, get some more damage on them, clean them up with the missiles. And quite honestly, I think Destroyer is great for beginners looking to learn the extraction format. Gives you a barricade that is a reliable defensive fallback while you learn the maps and, enemy AI stuff. And as for advanced tips, like we said before, you can bait enemies into your barricade. Let those enemies shoot you. Let them focus you. You got a big, bright shield. Your teammates can flank, hit them from the side. But also, I feel like his skill ceiling is pretty high, especially in a game where people are playing like super passive already. You can really take advantage of that and get the drop on people. Destroyer is the best shell in Marathon for players who want to lead that charge. They want to hold the line. They want to dictate the pace of every engagement. You're not reacting to fights. You're basically creating them. It's almost like a dance of sprinting in, sustaining that damage, trigger your missiles, using barricade at the right moment, and quite honestly, you can be a one-man wrecking crew doing that. But that's going to do it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like down below. Let me know your tips and tricks for the Destroyer class. I feel like a lot of people are just picking shells and not really realizing the playstyle that goes behind it. Like, yeah, you can play any shell however you want, but there is an optimal way to play. And again, make sure you're looking at those mods and implants and cores to see what type of build craft synergy you can get and take advantage of it. And that's going to do it for the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!
My fellow Rook?
Hello?
Are you friendly?
Yes, I just want to leave.
I could have eliminated you when I had the chance.
Are you the guy that I saw running around outside?
Greetings! Greetings, friend!
Cooperate.
What do you need?
5 minutes until forced recall.
Dude! Dude! Thank you. Can you crouch if you can hear me? Oh, you can hear me, okay. Making sure that the proximity chat works. Well, alright, dude. Dude, thanks so much, man. You're such a great guy. Good luck on your runs, man. Hopefully you buy the game. Good price.